Today we're looking at the cool and interesting things you can see on Okanagan Lake in the summertime, and we're starting now. I'm Lisa Salt with RE/MAX Vernon Salt Fowler, and today we're going to look at some of the interesting, cool, and sometimes just plain weird things you see on Okanagan Lake in the summertime. But before we do, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video, as we're posting new videos every single week. On this channel, we give you the straight goods on Vernon and the whole Okanagan and the Shuswap, our ultimate Four Seasons paradise. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or just curious about the area that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email and just add salt. At the end of this video, I will tell you how to download our free Vernon relocation package so you can learn more about what the Okanagan has to offer. The first cool thing to see on Okanagan Lake is the flying wildlife. In the spring, there's nothing more fun than seeing the geese meander by with their little fuzzy babies. And it's not just the geese, the ducks too. And if your yard floods, they come a little bit closer. You'll also see osprey around looking for their next fish to prey on, and if you're lucky, you may even see a neighborhood bald eagle. Along the side of the lake, often you'll run into a family of quail as well, and if you wonder what this is, it's a whole bunch of pelicans flying over Okanagan Lake. I have no idea where they were going or what they were doing around here. I've never seen them before until this particular time. Second, and speaking of wildlife, a little known fact is there are also beaver in the lake. This little guy goes to work in the morning, and after a hard day of going to town on someone's tree down the lake, he trucks on back to wherever he spends his evenings, relaxing and hanging out. Third, we have still more wildlife in the water. This will maybe be an unexpected one. The deer love to come down and hang out by the lake in one way or another, and these guys brought the whole herd to stampede through the area for reasons unknown. And this guy, he decided he was just going to check out the difference between the view he gets from the hills, where he usually lives, to the views on the water. I cannot say what he was actually doing or what he was thinking at the time. However, if you're near the lake, you may be lucky enough to see a beautiful guy like this, just taking a stroll on someone's dock. Now let's move on to the boats onto the lake. And there are some pretty interesting ones. Moored out in one arm of the lake, this cool looking paddle wheeler is the Fintry Queen. She's a 326 passenger ship who for over 100 years was part of Kelowna's downtown waterfront, carrying more than 25,000 passengers during the summer months. The Fintry Queen was built in Vancouver in 1948 and then transported to Kelowna, where she became one of 3 car and passenger ferries crossing Okanagan Lake. It was like a whole cruise, dinner, and dance thing, and then in the 80s, there were cruises to Peachland and Penticton, and today, she lies at anchor at the Vernon end of Okanagan Lake, awaiting whatever her future may bring. Then anchored just down from the Fintry Queen, there's the famous little tugboat, the little tugboat that could, the MV Okanagan. This was the first diesel CP rail tugboat launched in 1947, and during her service, the Okanagan pushed railway barges up and down the lake filled with fruit and other cargo and broke ice during the winter for the steamships. Now there are other boats you'll find. There could be ones that look like this, or maybe like this. And if you see this, it's the weed cutter. It's an important one. Or if they look like this, you've got yourself a shrimp boat. Back in the 60s, the government, in their infinite wisdom, brought these freshwater shrimp to Okanagan Lake with the idea that they would feed the declining population of the kokanee. However, as it turned out, the shrimp and the kokanee live at differing depths in the lake, and instead of the shrimp feeding the kokanee, the shrimp started eating all the kokanee's food. So the shrimp population has absolutely exploded while the kokanee have dangerously declined. The shrimp expanded to such a point that these boats go out every night in season at dusk and put their nets out, so that when these shrimp come out of the depths to eat, then they're caught and voila, fish food. And of course you will find normal boats on Okanagan Lake as well. Here are the sailboat races that happen on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night, often with no wind like this particular Wednesday, but they're nice to see. Now, if you're over by Parker Cove, then you may see this guy parked on the lake right now and wonder, what the heck is that? The barge is just waiting for approvals to become either a floating restaurant or a floating private event spot. The pilot project for this was on the lake a while back and looked like this, and was the creation of a local, longtime resident who had a vision for bringing something fun for people to congregate and have fun while floating on the lake. However, as you can imagine, to do a cool project like this on the lake, a person always runs into a huge amount of government red tape, and this project is no different. Even though they have similar floating establishments on the Shuswap and have for years. Hopefully though, one day you'll see this one on Okanagan Lake with a floating garden restaurant with live music. In fact, if you're interested in getting involved, investors are welcome. You may also see on the lake wildlife and boats together in the form of dogs on sea-doos, or maybe dogs chasing wildlife as well. And those are all the weird and wonderful things that I've seen lately on Okanagan Lake. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have anything cool that you've seen, please let me know. In the meantime, be sure to download our Vernon relocation package below and learn more about what the Okanagan has to offer.